that they are changing my voice. So I have a right to accuse people as groups of targeting me. I have that right. If there's a bunch of Jews and whites and LGBT people collaborating to target me, I have the right to accuse them. And when I have 23 witnesses and the police haven't given me a satisfactory response to my reports, I have a right to be angry. That is not the same as feeling some kind of evil hate. Righteous indignation is not the same as evil hate. Moral outrage is not the same as evil hate. Would you lynch a rape victim in the name of fighting rape? Then why would anyone even for a moment think of complaining about my videos? And what you're seeing is the moral response to the hate crimes committed against me. When it's somebody who kisses up to the status quo and has a lot of political backing, as corrupt as political parties are, people take their complaints seriously. But when the righteous man who stands on his own 10 toes complains, they try to play him out as crazy, and that's what's happening here. I have also proven definitively with my focused moral intensity argument and the studies on moral intensity and brain function that I'm the most righteous person that ever lived logically, and the most righteous person that ever will live because of tech, breeding, cheating, and generational ill-gotten gains. How many of you think it's a coincidence? Within 9 days or so, or however long it was, 10 days, there were 2 significant hate crime related events in this small town of like 40,000 people, which is not known for being a racist town. There's things that's happened before. There was some kind of clash between the white and Hispanic communities some years back over Cinco de Mayo or something. It wasn't a serious clash. It was serious in terms of it's sad that racism's still a problem, especially to the degree it is. But there wasn't, serious injuries and there wasn't any homicides that I was aware of. Now, this town is relatively peaceful. Very few homicides any given year. I think whole years have gone by without any homicides, if I'm not mistaken. But yet, within about 10 days, there were 2 separate incidents of hate crimes. One where a Muslim person was verbally assaulted, and I think they physically assaulted him too. Again, I have to read the annotations because of the condition I have as a result of daily hate crimes against me. And there was a swastika hung up. So who would hate Muslims and who would put a swastika up? I don't know. I don't know who the suspect is in the swastika thing. Could be a black guy. I don't know. But I've been talking about groups of whites, Jews, and LGBT people harassing me for years. I've written letters to the FBI and the Justice Department. I've called the Santa Clara County Sheriff's Department. If I do anything wrong, they're quick to get on my bumper. And I have no criminal record, mind you. So they're quick to unfairly get on my bumper. But when it comes to me complaining as a son of humanitarian, as someone who's proven that he's the most righteous person that ever will live with a universal and logical scale, nobody cares. They say, cover it up. It makes us look bad. The head of the FBI goes on TV and says every 6.5 minutes a woman or child is raped. In a country with millions of atheists, mind you, 10% of Americans are said to be atheists. They weren't concerned about looking bad then, and their enemies using that to their advantage then. But when it comes to me, a righteous man, a righteous heterosexual man, in California, in America, they're concerned that it will make them look bad. So they don't want to give me justice. The churches, with all their long history of downplaying the implications of all the child sexual abuse that takes place, including right here in this town, someone has been accused, at least one person. I think it's 2 in the last 10 years or so, 5 years. It is shameful And on top of everything else, the churches are silent about what's going on here. When you consider that I am who I am. A suspect in the spot, I'm right across the street from where a suspect named Jesus Garcia is said to have shot someone dead. One of the few homicides in the last 5 years or so. Might even be the only one, I don't know. What are the odds that after I've been going on and on about how I am the Son of God, the last suspect in a homicide, if I'm not mistaken, his name is Jesus Garcia. And I've been going on and on about hate crimes against me, and there's been 2 hate crimes or so in the last 10 days, 2 acknowledged ones. And there's been countless ones against me. Racial harassment, sexual harassment, using technology because they're trying to play me out as crazy. These are people who work with law enforcement, who make sure that I don't have what it takes to gather evidence. But there is some evidence still in my house which is being foreclosed on. I'm told it's being foreclosed on around April 7th or so. My parents' house. But they're not giving me a straight answer because they're also collaborating with the state due to coercion. In fact, it was the CIA who brought my father here during the Nigerian Civil War in the late 60s, and he's worked his way up to being a brain surgeon, from being penniless on the streets in America. That's probably the hardest thing to believe that I said in this video. Well, one can argue the hardest thing to believe is that I'm the most righteous person ever, but if you have trouble believing that, okay, then you put in the comments, we'll discuss it. I have a video playlist called Proof That I'm Christ. More accurately, the idea that Christ is superimposed on. Again, the miracles are figurative. I do not literally walk on water. The water is figurative. See Revelation 17. The cloud is figurative. See Jeremiah 4:13. And Isaiah 30. Especially verse 30. Cloud burst. Key word. There's no viable counter-argument to my explanation. I've been making videos for 16 years. I have thousands of sources, and on all my key points, no one has ever been able to disprove one of them wrong or even create a compelling, viable counterargument. And I'm the son of 2 doctors. My mom's a National Merit Scholar, and a general surgeon. My father is a brain surgeon who came here and worked his way up from being, penniless on the streets in Detroit. And he's also humanitarian. And many top doctor awards as well. So if you think that it's logical to assume that people don't have to respond to my arguments, okay, you must be the most racist and stupid person that ever lived. My argument is sound. It's open and shut. Should righteousness and rational thought triumph in America? Or should clan-like activity from certain subgroups of the white community, subgroups of the Jewish community, and subgroups of the LGBT community, why everyone is playing stupid out of fear? Should bravery triumph or cowardice? Righteousness or wickedness? An insistence on righteousness through sabotage, or people who just maintain appearances like worms?